All right, good morning, traders. Today is December 26th, 2023. This is the BYOB Morning Market Conditions and Analysis with me, John Kerrigan. Let's take a look at the markets this morning. All right, so what do we got? SPY on Friday left off with a higher low and an equal high from the day before. So nice recovery for SPY on, well, let's see what we got. We got a higher low and a higher high from this big red candle here. So we're right back up here at where that red candle opened. So this is very bullish, coming back up into this wick. Now we'll look over at the wick here. This is where the sellers were located. We saw the sellers show up on Friday, right here. And we've seen sellers over here a couple weeks ago. So we'll see what happens, how deep they get into the sellers' territory today. Still think they're headed off to make new highs before the end of the year. We'll see what happens. So I'm looking for another bullish continuation. So for me, I'm looking at that 10-minute chart. I'm looking for the 3 crossing over the 8. Under or over VWAP. Looks like this one's over VWAP. This would be a buy right out of the gate. That is if the bulls strike first blood first thing in the morning. We'll see what happens. So there's SPY. Let's go back to the daily chart. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say QQQ and FNGU probably get the same chart going on. So here we are with QQQ, same thing going on, higher low, higher high, right back up into the sellers of this wick that we had on Thursday. So there's QQQ. So there are some sellers up here, we'll see. Now keep an eye on QQQ and SPY. This could qualify as a double top, and we could come rushing back down to this anchored VWAP area. So we'll see what happens. There's QQQ, FNGU now. FNGU got a lower high, a lower low, higher low and a higher high. Again, back up into the wick area, okay? So FNGU back up into the sellers territory. This is where the sellers were located before. We'll see how far we get up there. Now notice that the FNGU is not nearly as strong as the QQQ and the SPY. You can see in the pre-market here, we're just in the body of this candle here. Whereas we look at QQQ, we're way up into the top part of this body over here, right into the wick section. SPY, you can see we're up into the wick section as well. FNGU, not quite the same. So we'll see what happens, if the FNGU is going to catch up or not. Now let's take a look at IWM. IWM moving off to new highs. Looks like they're going to go challenge the wicks of Friday. Here's the wick, and you can see they're up there all the way up into the wick. IWM makes a higher low and a higher high. So IWM made a new yearly high on Friday and is still moving up. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. So here's Diamond Dow, is kind of still bull flagging here. A little bit of a flat line going on Diamond Dow. We'll see if they can break out to new highs. We'll see if the SPY can get it done. It looks like they're headed off for that direction this morning. They may just go up there and create the new high and then fall back down. We'll see what happens. There's Diamond Dow. SMH. SMH on the daily charts and a bull flag. You can see sellers came in, sold it down to here, and then the buyers came right back in and pushed it back up. So SMH still in a bull flag. This is the all-time high for SMH right there, right up at 176. You can see we're hovering over that red candle, so that shows buyers are still interested right now in the SMH. IYT, it's our transports. You can see IYT, transports, making a higher low and a higher high. And transports Can't quite make the new high yet for this year. So maybe it's coming this week. We'll see what happens. But on Friday's candle, we got a higher low and a higher high. So they're going up there to challenge the yearly high as well as last week's high right there. So there's IYT. And we did SMH, we did IYT. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF, this is the yearly high right there for XLF. Not quite at the all-time highs. All-time highs are a little bit further off. Nice move up. The only scary part is, we didn't put in any foundations over here, but there are some over to the left. So this is a big move up for XLF. We'll see if they can keep this going. We got a higher low and a higher high. We'll see what happens, what they want to do. XLF is looking very strong, closing over the 3 EMA here. So that is the yearly high right there, up there at 37.74. So we'll see all-time highs are much higher. Get a little bit of ways to go. Not too much, but XLF is still looking good. Let's take a look at USO. See what oil and gas is doing. Now, USO was kind of turning around last week. And you can see they're gapping up over Friday's candle. That's huge. Gapping over that whole candle we had for Friday. So Friday's candle was a higher low and a higher high, but not quite taking out this high. So USO in a daily uptrend. There's the last high, creating a higher high, still underneath this trend line. So they're going to make a spike of it today or gap up and move up. We'll see what happens. USO today looks like more upside for USO. UNG was up around $5 on Friday. Higher low, higher high. So, and UNG's doing something. They're right back down at the bottom of Friday's opening price right here. So we'll see if they're going to trade it back up again. So UNG not in a daily uptrend, while USO is in a daily uptrend. Need to make that higher high in order to get this done for UNG. Here's the last high to get it technically in an uptrend. So right now, still in a downtrend there on UNG. USO, crude oil is technically in an uptrend, but under the downtrend line. Let's take a look at silver and gold. All right, here's silver, kind of still hovering here at the midpoint of the higher low. So they got some work to do to get up there and make a higher high. But here's silver. Friday's candle makes a higher high and a lower low, so increased volatility there for SLV. Gold, a little bit different, making a higher low and a higher high, back up there to challenge the December highs that we made earlier this month. So you can see gold is kind of right back where the sellers are again. You can see we moved up and then we gapped down. So we've got right up here in this quadrant, there seems to be some sellers. We gapped up, traded down. So we're back up there attacking this again today on GLD. So let's take a look at the US dollar. Well, first let's take a look at economic calendar. Okay, so Tuesday we're going to have Chicago Fed Activity Index 8:30, Case-Shiller 9 o'clock, home price, house price index 9 o'clock, as well as Case-Shiller, Dallas Fed manufacturing 10:30, and a quiet day. For tomorrow, Richmond Fed Index, 10 o'clock, and a quiet day. And what do we got for Thursday? We got international trade goods at 8:30, jobless claims 8:30, wholesale inventories 8:30, pending home sales 10, natural gas report 10:30, petroleum status report at 11, and a quiet day after all of that on Thursday. And for Friday, Chicago PMI at 945. All right, so let's take a look at earnings calendar. We have, are they on the calendar again? All right, so BHP still looking for their P&L. Nobody knows when they're going to report today as far as the 26th, so really can't even look at that. Satisfied, they were supposed to report on the 22nd, I thought. So we'll see what happens. Let's look at tomorrow. No real notables Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. So not an exciting week for the earnings calendar. Nothing really notable that would move the market. Max pain for today is 471. We'll see what happens. Max pain for tomorrow, 471. And max pain for Thursday, 472. Let's take a look at the dollar index. See if we can get that to come up. Good morning, Emma and VJ and the other VJ. So let's see what the dollar was trying to punch out a new low on Friday. We'll see if we can get it to come in. All right, so here is the rubber band candle of the flat 200, and you can see we punched out a new low here. And looks like we're headed down to challenge these July lows that we had earlier this year. So this is great for the markets. This is a whole lot of upside should be coming along. So maybe the SPY can and the IWM can start challenging some of their prior highs. But you can see here we are. We've punched out a new low. We punched through the rubber band candle. In other words, the rubber band has snapped. This could come fluttering down to the July lows that we have down here at 100, actually 99.67 area. So this is very bullish for the markets. U.S. dollar index, as the dollar weakens, it's going to make our goods and services more competitive. So I'm looking for whoever draws first blood out of the gate this morning for SPY. And that will probably be the direction that I go. So we'll see what happens. We are up in seller's territory, so I will have to be careful because we are in seller's territory. So come back here to gold's looking really strong. Back up here. You got the 3 over the 8 on GLD. There's a whole lot of strength coming in for gold. Coming up, a little pullback. This might be an opportunity. As the dollar comes down, gold and silver are probably got the green flag to shoot up to new highs. So keep an eye on gold and silver. Look for those to shoot for new highs this week and next week, as long as the dollar keeps falling down. Which one is the rubber band candle? Absolutely. The rubber band candle would be... Okay, see how this one is attached? This is our flat 200, the blue line. This one is attached. I give it one more candle. Notice how big they made that candle. All right. So they made a lower low. And so here is the attached candle, and then one more candle after they break the low of that candle. That is the rubber band candle. It's this last red candle right there. I got my cursor on. So they break the low of that rubber band candle, which snaps the rubber band, and now you're looking for price action to come fluttering down to the July lows. SPY pivot today. Let's go take a look for that. Good question. Let's go take a look for SPY pivot. Pull up my chart. Let's pull up SPY. Pull up the 10-minute. All right, so you can see price action shot up, came down to this area right here, this blue line. And then we retraced, we had a fallout, and then we came right back up here. So SPY pivot is going to be right about 473.89. Mel, SPY pivot's 473.89. Do you have a trading plan, VJ? That's my first recommendation, that you do have a trading plan. And thank you for being here. Do you have a trading plan, VJ? You do. And what does your trading plan say? Yeah, well, I'm right now. I'm bullish on the SPY. Everything is looking bullish. So I trade a lot of SPY options. I don't think I'd run back and try to duplicate the current portfolio. I'm going to start a new portfolio. Actually, I'm starting a brand new account on the first of the year. Yep. So I would not jump into anything here. I am bullish this morning, so I would look for either bull put spreads this morning, as long as the 3 is up over the 8 on the 10-minute chart on the SPY, and or look for calls. But keep in mind, when I did the daily analysis, you look up here, we found sellers here, and sellers here. So you're up in sellers territory. But we've got some new data that came out, and you can see the dollar is falling. So I don't know how long those sellers are going to defend this area, being since the dollar's falling, so they may give up this area. So it's highly possible that the SPY runs off and makes a new yearly high. Okay, so look for that 10-minute cross. For me, it's that 10-minute cross, which we had. See the cross right here? We got the 3 crossing over the 8, and it's up over VWAP right up here. And you can see in the pre-market, we're up there. So I'm looking for bullish action coming right back up here to challenge these highs. We'll see what happens. Yep. Yeah, new account coming out the first of the year. Yeah, I wouldn't duplicate this at all. All right, that's it. Market's about to open. I'm going to cut this video and let's take a look at the market.